Pavlov, I know the historical facts that Shakarah was speaking to you, they were not wrong.
Right.
And that's what I support. Whether he's a Pan-African or what, I got nothing to do with that. What I'm saying to you is I could tell, right? And if you're not, but what you were presenting was a white supremacist take on history. That's what you were doing that day, Now, if you are not a racist white supremacist, then I suggest you take yourself away and read, some books on African history before you try to inject yourself into conversations concerning African history, Pablo. Do you see where I'm coming from? I'm not trying to insult you. I'm not trying to belittle you. I'm not trying to be rude to you. I'm saying, that you didn't have...
Alright, do you want me to speak about African history? I'll speak you a little bit about African history.
I would love it.
What I know. I know about the Malian Empire, about Mansa Musa, how he was the richest man on earth throughout history, about how when he went to Egypt, when he threw money to the poor to help them, there was a big inflation in Egypt and the economy almost collapsed because of the amount of gold, because of the sheer generosity the man had.
You see how I'm shaking my head? Because I know everything you just said is true.
Well, I can tell you more.
But when
I know
shake
more
my
about
head
it.
the other way, man.
The thing is, I don't like you trying to, grab me by the hand and tell me, okay, tell me the achievements of my people. Why do I have to tell you that?
I asked you a question. Why didn't you just answer?
I want you to tell me about it. I want you to spread awareness about it.
Last week. Or
Bro,
did you have to
nobody
go and find
will
that
care
out?
about Ukraine if I don't tell anybody about it. The same principle functions in your side. You need to tell people
Pablo,
about it.
again,
I'm not the one who needs to defend you.
I'm not here to teach you.
I know many things
I'm not
about your
here to
history.
teach you,
Not
Pablo.
everything. I never said I know everything, but I know some things.
I'm gonna wait for you to finish talking. Have you finished?
Okay, fine. You want to say something? Say something.
I am not here to teach you anything. I'm gonna say it again.
Why not?
Yeah?
That's the problem. Why not?
I'm gonna say it again. White people are highly informed. About all sorts of information. He knows things that I don't know, that I've never heard about. In fact, all my information comes from white people. Not this white person here, but all my information comes from white people. This book written by a black man, half of the sources in it referred to are by Europeans such as yourself.
You know what? All the books that I've read, all the history books, I didn't check on the race of any of the writers.
Colour is very important.
Can I jump in? I know,
because it doesn't matter.
People often say I'm a defender of white people, but look, the brother, the same sources, everyone got the same. Generally speaking, I believe everyone has the same access to the same sources. The libraries that man can go up in, we can go up in. It's So it's up to us to actually go into that. He might be informed of the sources that you're talking about, but he very well may not be. So sometimes I feel like we need to
much
teach.
more of a means of getting access to anything than I do as well.
Yeah.
White people have extreme means of getting access to all kinds of information.
Extreme means? White people have extreme means?
Yeah, you
What
have
is this, some
more
kind of
means.
conspiracy?
You have more means to access to information than me. To institutions, universities,
I'm not English.
colleges.
I'm not British.
Well, then wherever
I have
you
no
take
rights
yourself
here.
in this world,
I'm a migrant here, bro.
Listen, you can go to America, you could go to Australia, you could go to France,
You can as well.
All those countries, you're going to have more access, more rights, to things than me as a non-white male. Agreed or disagree?
All right. So your point of view is to come to the countries you think you're being discriminated in and complain about you being discriminated.
Listen, I was born.
That's your ideology.
I was born here.
Is that your point?
I was born here.
Okay, you were born
so
here.
I'm not
Good.
taking myself anywhere.
Excellent. Good.
I am where I am. And I'm saying what I'm saying where I am. I didn't born here.
Good. You respect British culture.
You as a Ukrainian.
You respect British customs.
What is British culture?
Are you a British person?
I don't give a fuck about British.
You don't give a fuck about it.
No.
Then why are you here?
What is British culture?
I respect British culture. I respect.
Did you hear this question from a
What is
Ukrainian?
disgusting? What is
From a
disgusting?
Ukrainian.
What
This
is
guy's
disgusting?
from Ukraine.
Ukraine doesn't have the same rules that people have here.
What is British?
This guy's from
British culture
Ukraine.
or
He's not a
custom?
native
What is
to
it?
this
Well,
country.
that
He's
I've
not
been
born
living
here.
for
And he's
29 years,
asking
I
me,
still don't
why
know
am I
what
here?
British culture
Because
is.
I don't like
Okay,
the
one at a
racist
time,
white
one at a
people
time, one at a
that
time,
run the
one at a
country.
time, one at a time, one at a time. What do you
so-
want to say? What is so disgusting?
I don't like British values, as
Why
you
not?
put it. What did you call it?
British customs, British
Right,
laws,
to me,
British
values. That is racism, white supremacy. That's why I don't like it.
All right.
There's
You don't
your
like
answer.
the British culture.
There's your answer.
You don't like the customs.
There's your answer. So what's your
Okay,
answer
fine.
to my
How do you
answer?
expect to be integrated in this country if you keep shouting at them how much you hate them?
I don't do that, number one. I'm not shouting at you, am I? And
Yeah, you're
number
not
two,
shouting at me, but you're
Right.
saying that you hate it.
I don't want to be integrated into a
Why
system
not?
of racism.
Then how are
white
you supposed to
supremacy,
live here?
yeah? Can I
Don't
answer?
you listen? Don't you see the problem in the situation? They don't want to integrate you because you're different, and you're different, and thus you don't want to be integrated. It's perfect for them. If they want to be racist, you're playing into their hands. Let's imagine for a second that Britain is an absolutely racist country, that all blacks are absolutely discriminated. You know that they're not going to do anything about it. You have to save yourself. You have to evolve yourself,
what you're saying-
improve yourself
What
to
you saying, we have to
compete in
destroy
this
the
country.
system of white supremacy from
No,
within.
man. I mean, you need to compete in it. You need to make part of it.
Compete?
Yes. Yes, you need to integrate yourself in it and to make part of it and to compete with the whites in
Well,
this
I can just break
country
the walls
because you
down.
got the opportunity for it.
Can I ask you?
Go ahead.
Me, and I know brothers like this man here because I've seen him, right? You know, you're entitled to your opinion, but we have different ideas. We focus on
Alright,
our
that's
own
no problem.
community, right?
problem.
And we are trying to focus on making our own people better. Yeah, we're not really worried, like I hear everything you're saying, but I'm not worried about you. I'm not worried about... and I'm actually not here to teach you anything. I'm not here to say anything about your practice of white supremacy. What I am here to do is to try and gather my people, together so we can have a code, right? This is what this book is all about, okay?
Really good book.
All right, let's get something straight. You believe your people have been robbed of something, don't you?
I don't remember
For example,
saying
their
that, but I'm
history.
going to wait for you to finish talking.
Do you believe your people have been robbed of their history?
I believe that Europeans perpetrate false history like you did last week. Yes.
Okay. So what is the way for you to recover what has been stolen from you or to keep existing in the world and to be a functional part of society?
Men
Is it
like
to keep-
this, Mr. Robin Walker.
Sure.
Yeah, right. So we teach the truth to our children and we confront the lies. That's it. We know the lies
lies?
better than the liars.
Which lies?
Lies like the Egyptians weren't black, like the
Would you say
Carthaginians
that's
weren't
unbiased?
black.
Would you say that's an unbiased book?
Yeah, of course. And a lot of the sources.
No, it can't be unbiased.
Why? Because it's written by a black
No.
man.
What I'm saying is, bias. If you're using this book to prove that whether black people were the original or whichever, then that's bias. By definition, it's bias.
How?
Isn't it? So there has to be a balance. Where do you balance the books, isn't it?
How's it biased?
Because obviously, what's this going to prove is that black people ruled the world and white people were something. You know where I'm coming from? That's bias. Because you're trying to prove to me. You're trying to prove. I'm unbiased. by the
How
way.
do you know what I'm
Listen,
trying to prove? How do you know
Because
what
you're
I'm trying
showing
to
this book to everybody.
No,
as proof.
I'm not on your side either, but I'll come to you in a minute.
Well, this is my side.
I'm trying to prove to him
My side is
that
being
the ancient
misunderstood here.
Egyptians were black because he seems to think
What
otherwise.
ancient Egyptians?
If you think otherwise,
What dynasty?
The ancient Egyptians.
I've got, you know what Ramesses called the ancient
Ah,
Libyans?
the dynasty, exactly.
Ancient
There
Libyans.
wasn't
The ancient
the
Libyans.
dynasty of black pharaohs.
Blonde-head weirdos. from
I know
next
where you're
door.
gonna go.
And Phoenicians. My answer is the Phoenicians.
I hear that.
Yeah, so that's irrelevant anyway. The colour's irrelevant
Yeah.
really because the Nubians.
Let me make myself clear, right?
Yeah,
I'm
go on.
trying to prove a certain thing to him.
She's
yeah?
got a straight nose.
Right, so he's saying one thing, I'm saying another, yeah? So I'm providing
I think we get
evidence.
involved. I'm an Egyptologist and a historian.
That's cool, right?
Not really. No, I ain't got a qualification.
That's a good person to have in a conversation.
You know what I like to read it because ancient Egypt is one of my top subjects.
Here's
One of my
another one
favourite
as well.
subjects.
This is a brilliant book.
So according to you, which I would listen. My argument here. Let me explain my
Robin
argument
Walker,
again.
I'm gonna check that out,
Again,
definitely,
just
bro.
so I make everything clear, just so there's no misconceptions. The races exist now are not the same races that existed back then. The races have been in constant change, not only to interbreeding, but simply exposure to the environment. We have evolved beyond what we were before. They're not exactly the same. But if we are to compare similarities, I would say that the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians,
Chico,
in
right.
their majority, would not be compared to blacks.
Pavlov.
That's my point.
Again,
even though
Pavlov.
there was a dynasty of black
Again,
pharaohs,
again,
of
where-
Nubian pharaohs.
No, but all right, cool.
Pavlov,
This is a very
where's...
interesting
Wait,
question.
sorry, because he's talking to
sorry
me,
about
yeah?
that,
Pavlov.
No, we got an Egyptologist
Again,
here.
Pavlov, where's your information? Where's your source for that statement?
I don't need to tell you names of books.
So
when we
you
talk
don't
about
need to tell me.
pharaohs, where
Exactly.
did-
It's,
where did the
okay, it
notion-
was Julius Caesar black. Was he black?
So this is what you just said to me,
Was
Pablo.
Julius Caesar
Pablo,
black?
do you know what you just said to me? You
Bro,
said
tell me, was Julius Caesar black or not? Just answer.
So Pavlov just said to me, yeah, I don't need to tell you because I'm white. I don't need to tell you, yeah? Listen to me. I'm white and I say so. Yeah? I don't need no facts, I don't need no books, I don't need no sources.
That's not it. It's
been
commonly
talking for
known
an
knowledge.
hour.
Listen,
been
one,
talking
okay,
for 2
okay, okay.
weeks.
Let me establish a parallelism here. One thing is for me to say the Earth is round.
You're not like that, bro.
It's a commonly accepted fact. And you ask me, what are the scientists who say that? And I'm like, huh?
Yeah,
I
but
don't know the names of the
Pablo,
scientists. I don't know
we're
the names of the
disagreeing on
books.
something.
It's just a commonly
So
known
we're going to
fact.
need to present information. We're going to need
Exactly. You are coming from a perspective that is challenging the commonly known knowledge.
No, that's true.
Commonly known knowledge. You are the one,
trying
the
to pitch
challenger.
correct.
You are the ones who need to
The
present
argument.
proof of your argument. That's why I asked you
I like
many
that. I read
times.
that. That's a good
Show
one,
me,
that's a good one.
tell me, explain to me, teach me. If you know something
you
more
know what,
than
you
I
actually
do.
got it
But
as
you
well,
refuse
yeah.
to do it.
forgot
All
about
you
that.
want, you're insisting in this thing.
Alright,
Show
alright,
me titles of books. Which books? Which science?
Now, I'm not refusing.
You are the challenger.
Listen, just for the camera, yeah, I'm not refusing to teach Pavlov anything, yeah?
Yes, you are.
Genuinely, listen, yeah? If you want me to teach you something, yeah? I will sit down and read this whole book with you, one-on-one in the park, me and you, yeah? No cameras, nothing. I ain't teaching you nothing now, yeah? For the sake of the camera, yeah? Because I know you're not genuine. I can see it by the look on your face. As soon as I said that, see how he's looking.
What? No, but what is
You
your?
are not
What is your?
genuine,
Like, what
Pablo.
are you trying to fulfill?
You don't care. You don't want to know about
Anything.
African
This is about the
history.
conversation we had long ago about ancient Egyptians
Yeah.
being black or not.
Of course, but they would mix. 100. Do you know how many dynasties there were, bro?
Sir, can I ask you a
There was
question?
one
Hyksos,
specific dynasty
Hittites.
that
Sir,
was
The
the
original
Nubians.
kings would be not pharaohs.
Sir.
Take the word pharaoh out of it. The original kings,
The kings, yeah.
of Egypt were black.
Sir, can I ask you a
what
question?
The
Babylon-
original kings were
The
black.
original, they weren't pharaohs.
The first
the whole
ones.
notion of pharaoh came from Babylon.
The
I
original
want to
kings
ask you
were
a
black.
question. Can you name me one historical achievement that black people have done in the history of time? Just one thing.
In what sense? What do you mean? No, go on,
Scientific,
repeat the question.
historical achievement that black people have done in the history of time. Just anything. Black.
Sacred geometry. Sacred geometry.
Thank you. Black, like this man.
Sacred geometry.
That's it. That's it. Now, listen to me, yeah. Do you not think that it's weird, yeah, for someone who knows so much about history, Pavlov, yeah, to not know any
that-
historical facts on African people, black people, not even one, yeah?
where
And you
he's
presented
referencing
one
from,
this week, but you didn't last week.
All right, let me tell.
It depends where you're.
Okay, you win. Congratulations. I'll
No
give you
win.
one
There's
example.
no winner here.
In
It's
philosophy,
to win this-
there's a specific philosophical current that is.
might win you might win a new skin.
What? What do you mean?
And that's why I said don't hold information. If you know something of valuable
It's not my
information,
job. I don't want to be anybody's messiah. I
we're
don't
not
want
asking for that. We just want the truth.
You
We
are.
just want the truth. No, we just want the truth,
Sorry,
Pablo.
brother, Darrell. Do you mind me asking what was the whole conversation about?
Where's your sources?
And this is to do with last week.
Huh?
Did you make a comment last week? What's it to do with?
We were talking about.
He's saying that the Egyptians are white. We're saying they're
I
black.
never said they're white.
That's the first pharaoh.
He's saying the Carthaginians.
There's the first pharaoh name.
He's saying the Carthaginians are black.
I said right now. I said right now. I specified on camera. Listen.
One time,
Carthage would have been
discipline.
part of
There you go,
man.
Charlie. Go
Look at
ahead.
Barca.
Discipline.
They would
So
have been
there
part
you
of
go.
man
This is
as well, wouldn't
this
it?
a statue of the first pharaoh. Yeah, Nama. Yeah, looks
Can I
like
be
Mike
honest
Tyson.
with you, or do you want
As
me
the
to lie
first
to you?
pharaoh.
Be honest with me, right?
No, they wouldn't know. How not? Because you're not. I can see in your phenotype.
Oh, the dog. See what I'm
You're
saying?
not a Carthaginian. Yeah, you wouldn't have looked like the
No.
Carthaginians.
You want about Carthage? Carthage was the Roman word. So
Carthage, Tunisia today.
No, Numidians.
The Numidians, they were black
Roman
as well.
terminology to win your argument.
The Numidians were black.
The Numidians.
They were black.
Yeah, well, the original Numidians would have been black. Is that what you're saying? So Ramesses, what colour was Ramesses?
I want you to show.
Ramesses is a Nubian. Ramesses is his DNA. Ramesses is the first
I'm saying-
DNA.
He could have been mixed.
No, he's not.
But he would have been mixed with
Yeah,
black
cool.
and
I said on
Asian,
camera
not
right now, the
European.
races that existed in those days are not the same that exist now. Yeah, they are there.
Europeans,
White
Yeah, they are
people
there.
would
You
have
should
been
rewatch
Europeans
it.
and the
You
Pharaoh
should
would have said,
rewatch
oh,
it.
then we're
Yeah.
going
Yeah,
to
but they
Europe.
still had distinctions.
One
You
time,
could
this
see
is-
between people
They
who are
wouldn't even have
different.
lived in Europe.
The whole conversation
Hellenistic
started
wouldn't have
because
lived in Europe.
Shakara was
They would have
saying
lived in
that
Turkey,
only
Asia Minor.
blacks
Hellenes
deserve to call
were
themselves
Greeks.
Africans.
Hellenistic.
Yeah, I disagree. I said there's more people than blacks in Africa.
uncivilized.
They're also
Okay,
Africans.
Hellenistic.
Now he said, oh no, the, those
see,
people
I don't
are
know
not actual
everything. You teach
I don't know
me
everything. I don't know nothing. All I know
All
is
Africa
what
was
I've
in
read
the beginning black. Everybody was black.
Yeah, but one thing I will tell you is the original kings. This is very make the distinction between king and pharaoh. Do you know the difference?
After that,
Between
in
king and
Northern
pharaoh.
Africa, there were communities that were not black. At least the
Pharaoh was
first,
living image of God on earth.
you know,
That's what a pharaoh was. He wasn't just a king.
historical
he was actually
records
a
of
god
them don't
living
show them
in
as
the
black.
image of God.
Or at least the
king,
majority of
obviously, is
them.
just
There
a
were some
ruler.
blacks
Now,
there, of course.
Who
Who am I to say that there were no blacks
kings
there? I never said
of
that.
Egypt
What I said
were
is
black.
the
Of course
majority
they were.
might not be
Khufu,
black.
Josa,
By the book. This is a very difficult one.
Are you saying they were or they weren't?
Yeah, been to Africa.
the original kings of Egypt would have been black. Of course they
thank
would.
you.
But then what happened is you had Hyksos and Hittites. They wanted a slice of the pie as well, because the Nile was fertile, the fertile crescent. So what happened is you had people that came in and attacked the pharaoh, and obviously they took concubines and they intermixed it, and then there you have it, the Afro-Asiatic black. Yeah? And then you had another group of people that came, they wanted a slice of the pie as well, because it's a fertile land. Everyone heard about it. People want to know about this land.
Many invasions, many invasions.
But the Nubians are the last of the pharaoh line.
The Nubians were the first, but the Nubians would have
No,
been the
never
first
the
to
last.
travel.
Nubians, seriously, Nubians
You're
are the
from the
last.
heart.
Now, let me tell you the point I was trying to make about Pharaoh thing, the whole notion of the living image of God on earth came from Babylon, Mesopotamia.
Yes.
That notion of
one thing that I do
it came
know
from
is
it wasn't even the Bible got it wrong. The Bible said Pharaoh.
I'm not going to argue. I'm just.
No, but the Bible said that Joseph fought with Pharaoh.
Muhammad, the prophet.
And Moses fought with Pharaoh.
Yes.
But that's false. Because at the time, during Joseph's time, they weren't pharaohs.
Yes.
They were kings.
Okay.
Yeah? Moses, they were pharaohs. Now the Quran got it spot on. That's another argument. But yeah, that's what I was trying to make. For him to turn around and say that they were white, right? That's silly nonsense.
You
know, and so that's my whole.
Ramesses did turn around and say, he said the weirdos from next door, he said the ones with the blonde hair and the blue eyes, the ancient Libyans. And ironically, they were my ancestors, the Berbers.
This is my whole
back and expect me to be.
You
I'm done with this conversation.
I can see that you're being genuine. You're being honest.
I'm unbiased. I try to be unbiased.
I can see that you're probably around my age, yeah, right? I'm 34. I'm older than you, right? Yeah. My guy, yeah.
So, brother,
He would like to consider.
you're a Berber now as well.
I'm half Berber.
Your mum or dad?
He would like to
Where's it from?
Sorry, one sec.
Where's
Reef
that?
Mountains.
Morocco.
Modern
Let me
day
just
Morocco.
get this, yeah, right?
Go on, no, that's a little bit patronising there. Go on.
No, it's not passionate.
Slightly, I can see a little bit of something.
I'll tell you the truth, for life, brother, from my
I
heart.
don't
yeah?
look like a Berber, is that what you're saying? Have you
No,
actually been to Morocco?
I'm not saying that. Today, I met another guy. I met about 3 guys now.
Sorry.
And you are 3rd different looking Berber that I've met in the space of 1 day. So I'm thinking, I'm just, as an East African, I'm just confused.
Of course you are.
I'm just confused.
No, that's
because I see
Shaka's
3 different
future,
Berbers.
innit?
I'll take you to Old Kent
Yeah,
Road today, yeah? I'll take you to a certain group of Algerians.
Yeah.
I can take you to Brixton as well, and I'm sure you're
Flagstaff
around there.
Road.
Yeah, and he looks more white than me, fam.
Can I just say something?
With Pavlov's hair, Pavlov's eyes, bro. And he's more pure North African than most North Africans you meet, because most North Africans you meet are mixed with Arab genes. That's what you're mixing it with. You're seeing that the Arab genes come into them, innit? But some of them are proud, some of them are still, but they have Arab genes. Now look at the Princess of Morocco, Layla Salma Banani, innit? She has ginger hair, brother. The ginger, she's a ginger. She looks more Irish than me, brother.
It's a phenotype developed outside of Africa.
She has more right to the throne than the king, because she was actually what they call indigenous. That's another argument. Now there's another argument in mixing that. When the Moors took harems, you know, like when the Arabs invaded North Africa, right? When they went to Spain, they took concubines with them, right? But there's an argument as to say whether it was the white came in through the bloodline of the Vikings through the harems. But they love hundreds of girls. They had hundreds of girls, bro. Boxing every night, but when the first male born became the emir. So if the first male born had mixed Viking DNA, then he would have looked like a Viking, innit? Or a Vandal, whatever you want to call it, a Visigoth, whatever you want to call it, right? Same difference, really, innit? Yeah. But that's another argument, innit?
So is it safe to say that the phenotype is not indigenous?
The phenotype. We're talking about HP phenotypes now.
I'm talking about phenotype.
We're talking
It's
about
not indigenous
now.
to
The
the
argument is, were there people inhabited in Morocco and Algeria? Never mind, Egypt's slightly different, innit? Because Egypt, you're getting into more slightly different. Geographically, Morocco and Algeria are actually more in Europe than they are in Africa.
I need to interject, sorry.
But you know why?
So are you Southern, like to me, like I'm saying, you Southern European
my pops is
or
from
you
the
North
north.
Africans?
We talk about Somalia being the Horn of Africa. We're actually from the head, Showi. In Berber they call it Showi. Showi means like the
But the difference between the Somali and the Berber thing, yeah, I can say everyone says Somali, you could just bam, boom,
Are you from
boom,
Somalia
boom.
or are you actually Somali?
I'm Somali.
Hargeisa or Mogadishu?
I'm Somali.
I said
Somali. I'm Somali. I'm the whole. I don't.
You know the city. I know the city called Berbera. You know that.
I know it's Berbera. That's the city. That's the city port I'm talking about. So my
I
city
don't think
port's
there's
so
any
called.
relevance in it because even the word Berbers is quite a bad terminology to use. The word, yeah, exactly. So if you go to Holland, for example, I've got cousins in Holland. If you call them Berber, that's like using the N-word. Very similar, isn't it? Very similar. Like we're not Berber, but we're Amazigh, innit? But we're Reefi. You know what I'm saying? They don't like to use that terminology, bro, innit? Because it's quite a thing. There's a lot of misconceptions as to who the Berbers were, bro.
This is the thing from the Pan-African table. I'm saying from the Pan-African table.
I lived in Morocco. I speak the Berber language.
No. From the Pan-African table. Right now, there's three of you today. All look totally different.
There was another one here. There's another one here with an Arsenal hat on, who's identical to me. He's Jazeri, innit?
And then you started. I'm saying from the African.
Where are you from?
I'm from planet Earth. Listen
No,
to
what
this,
I'm saying,
brother.
the reason why, because I can tell you what, like,
brother,
if you
I'm
come to
just-
my ends, bro, there's a big Algerian community.
There's one in my area as well, but I'm just saying, brother, you know where I'm coming from. The
I hear
confusion,
that, I hear that.
the confusion from the
Where
black
you get
brothers,
confused,
South
most of them-
Africa. Now I'm saying South African countries, where me, Raven, Shaka, and a lot of African brothers are getting confused. We don't know which one's the Berber.
But let me tell you,
So can you explain it to me?
Right,
That's
let
all I
me
want to know.
explain to you. The word Berber itself, bro, innit, yeah, it means outsider. It means outside of the Roman Empire. That's what it actually, by definition, that's what it means.
Means
So
barbarian.
indigenously, this is the other question I wanted to
Right,
compare.
indigenously, right,
Indigenously, you're not African. Are you not?
No, hang on a minute. I'm proud of the fact that my father's North African, right? I'm very proud of that fact. You know, very proud of that fact. You know, if stuff that I'm not proud of, I shouldn't really be proud of it. That's a bit haram anyway, bro. But in that sense, innit, I am very proud. Innit? I'm not embarrassed to say what I'm anymore, innit? I used to be in it, yeah, but I'm not anymore, innit, right? I've actually been to Morocco, bro. I've actually been and I've studied the anthropological
used to be
side of the
embarrassed?
Berbers in Morocco.
So you say you were embarrassed?
Certain ends you go to, certain ends you grew up in, bro. It's not, you wouldn't.
You're
be
embarrassed
like,
or ashamed of
you
your
know,
heritage.
You go to Bermondsey, right? Go to Bermondsey. Go to like Deptford, innit? Certain areas, and going to school there, it was racist, innit?
Also, I did find that your family's
Racist
of
to who?
African descent.
No, I'm saying that it was very racist towards anything that wasn't. That's not
white.
Not English.
See, that's a bad conversation to have. That's a bad
You look
conversation
like
to
an
have.
Englishman. If you
That's a
shave
bad
off your
conversation
beard,
to have.
you look like an Englishman to me.
Bruv, this is what I'm saying. You look like you're white.
My
You
mother's
are
Irish,
white.
bro. I heard that.
I'm just saying to me,
not having
like
an
how I
English
look like a
culture.
Somali man. You look like an Englishman to me. If you shave off the beard.
That's correct. But what I don't get, what point?
I don't know.
I need to
When you said,
interject.
when I went to school,
if
no, when
you're-
you told me
what's
when
your
I went to school in Birmingham,
Listen,
it was
I'll
racist.
tell you. I just need to interject because you said something
Interject.
important.
Go
Yeah,
I
and
was ashamed to be something.
we were talking about
No, I'm
something
saying me
before
growing up as
this.
a person, bro. No, but my dad.
hearing things.
Listen,
my nan's racist, bro.
Listen.
My nan used to say, you're not allowed to put my little cousins. You're not allowed to put the monkeys on the wall.
Listen,
The pictures of my cousins. My cousins.
Listen,
my
wait,
cousins.
wait,
That's
wait,
what I'm saying. My cousins, innit? My nan used to say that about. This is the family we brought up in. So my nan used to put me off.
Pavlov, I see you.
Okay, let me intervene for one last time just to tell you something. Now, here's some food for thought, especially for you. Show me a video or footage of me speaking about the inventions of the Chinese. Show me one footage of me speaking about that. Just because I don't speak about it doesn't mean I don't know about it, doesn't mean I don't want to acknowledge it. Just means it's not relevant for the specific conversation.
This is why we filmed, because me and him started talking.
By the way,
Listen, yeah?
By the way,
Pavlov, yeah?
There you go. I'm the Adan, I'm the odd one out. I'm the Adan,
where you are leading the way of the conversation. It's not good. It's not good. I don't like that kind of conversation.
Yeah, you don't want me to
What
ask
do you
the
call the other
questions,
party?
that's what it
What do you
is.
call the other party? White supremacists? What do you call the other party? Whatever you want. Yeah, boring ass. So why are you even intervening, man? Do you have something of
Listen,
value to
Pavlov,
say?
Pavlov.
Come here and say it. You don't have nothing to say, then shut up. That's it.
Can I speak?
With you, go ahead.
Right, so listen, yeah? You would consider yourself well-read?
What?
Would you consider yourself well-read?
Well read. Depends on the thing that you're talking about.
Read a
On some
lot,
things
right?
I'm well read, and some
History.
other things I'm not well read.
History.
Well, again, it depends on the region we're talking about. I know a lot about Europe. I know a lot about the Middle East. But China, I don't know that much.
This man
But Africa,
here-
I don't know that
I
much.
might not too much, you know.
This
You
man
might
I
here-
know some things.
Pavlov.
I have some information. I could speak a bit about it more. There's no point about it.
Pavlov,
There's
yeah?
no point in doing it.
This man here, yeah, who doesn't present himself how you present yourself, yeah, seems to have a lot more factual information.
What's the difference? How
I'm
does he
saying
present
the
himself?
way
But my
you
fact,
present
he might be
yourself.
reading from
What do you
a
mean the
different
suit?
source.
Not even that,
talking
not
about?
even
I might have
that.
to rock a
Last
suit
week,
next
just
week,
take
you know. I might
last
come
Did I wear a suit last time?
Take last week's video for an example.
Okay.
Yeah? So the
my
way
head
you
London.
present yourself, yeah, right, as an intellectual, yeah, what I'm saying, yeah, is
Maybe you want to be intellectual.
there's people out here like myself.
I was challenging. I was challenging
Can
Shakira.
I finish? Yeah?
Let him finish.
There's people out here, like myself for instance, maybe, yeah, right, that will tear you up, fam. Of course. Of course. I don't want you, yeah. Listen, Pavlov, yeah. I don't want you, yeah, to live a lie. Yeah, so what I'm saying to you, yeah, is go and learn the truth because you don't know it. Of course, that's what I'm telling you.
You know,
I'm not
the
saying
flat theorists told me exactly the same thing. It's funny how the words repeat themselves whenever you don't know what you're talking about.
And you know, I can never tell.
There's a lot of confusion when
Listen to me. It's your job to talk about your history.
It's not my
I
job
can
to
speak
teach
about
you.
it if I choose
Yeah?
to. Dude, you want people to know. You keep complaining people don't know about it. Why don't you teach them?
So this is what I'm
I don't
say.
look. I don't bitch and moan that people don't know about Ukraine. I don't bitch and moan. Never. I just tell them what's going on in Ukraine. Tell the people. Explain to them. Stop playing the victim.
This is what's going to happen from today, Pavlov. Yeah, right? Every time I see you talking, and your information is infactual, I'm gonna pull you up on it, and I'm gonna say while I'm doing it that I suspect that you're practicing racism. Yeah? Because you're not.
Do you think he's a racist?
Yeah?
Honestly, he thinks I'm a racist.
Honestly,
and that guy thinks so too.
Honestly, do you know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. Yeah, I am not Neely Fuller Jr. Yeah, right? Neely Fuller Jr. Yeah says to suspect white people of being racist. Yeah, right? I know you're a racist. Yeah, because
you see, because you think with your skin.
I know you're
because you
racist.
think with your skin. You don't think with your
two
head.
and two and two. Yeah?
It doesn't seem
it's
that
got nothing
way.
to do with your skin color. It has more to do with
seem
your
that way.
demeanor, the way you
seem that way
interact
at all.
with non-white people. It has a
Bro,
lot to
you
do.
know, people look at that stuff where you call yourself Pan-African and you say that all the other races that are in Africa are not actually
you're
African.
trying to-
And they
listen,
laugh at that. They
I'm
laugh
not
at you.
Shakira. I'm
They
not
laugh at
Shakira.
you.
I'm
They
not
watch it and they
Shakira.
laugh at you.
I'm not
Your
Shakira.
bros who have the misled
I'm not
opinions,
Shakira.
they might think the same way, like
took
Shakira,
it to
for
the wrong
example.
guy. You took
But
it
actually,
to the wrong-
intelligent people will look at
got
that
the wrong
and they'll be like,
ideology, bro.
oh my
You got
god.
the wrong
Intelligent
ideology, bro.
black people, they will look at that and they'll be like, oh my god, these
get my
guys are
t-shirt,
embarrassing
please,
me.
brother.
These guys are embarrassing me. Yeah, you see, my no, turn around. Show your t-shirt to the camera. Show the
This is what
actual
you gotta
part
deal
that
with,
matters.
Pablo.
You gotta.
This is what you gotta deal with on my back.
Bro. Turn around.
This is
Show
what you
the
gotta
actual
deal with on my
front.
back.
Show the front so I can describe it. Okay, here we have a black man with a caricature of supposedly Ghostbusters, but instead it's a white guy with the Ku Klux Klan mask. Right? Nothing racist about it, right? Nothing
What is
racist about
racist
it.
about that?
Bro, you're comparing all whites to the Ku Klux Klan.
Did you ask me about the t-shirt?
Well, how do you know that white man there might just be a Ku Klux Klan
Right,
member?
how do you know that's not a racist police officer?
Why do you wear this shirt?
Yeah.
Why do you wear this shirt? I don't wear this shirt where there's like a big thing here saying no, Black Lives Matter.
What's your ideology? What do you believe in? We can't see what you believe in. What I believe in is
Well, I
on my
tried
shirt.
explaining you many times what I believe in.
I'm
What's my
asking you
life?
now, what
What's
do you
my life
believe
like?
in? What's your religion? What do you believe in?
I believe that you are living a way of life that's not functional. You're trying to
I'm
make.
talking about you. What's in here? What do you believe? What do you stand for?
What specific
Pavlov?
thing about my ideology you want to talk
Who
about?
do you follow? Aristotle, Plato? Huh?
Well, I follow some philosophers, yeah. Mostly
No,
Sigmund
I follow
Freud,
Theo.
mostly
How about that? You know
David
about Theo?
Hume, but also others like Descartes. I like him. I
Are you
like
a Christian?
many other. No, I'm not a Christian.
So you don't believe that all men are born equal, isn't it?
I believe that men have power to achieve what they want, power
believe
to
everyone
achieve
in
their
inherently
ambition
racist?
and their dream, power to fight for what they desire and what they think that they deserve. Now, I don't believe that if you ask the world to be a certain way, the world just will become that way. I believe if you want the world to be a specific way, a fairer place, a better place, you need to make it that way. And just asking for it and walking with a shirt with a white guy, comparing him to Ku Klux Klan, is nothing good. It's not a functional way of living. It's not a way of you to integrate yourself in this society. You are, bro. Your friend over here and some other guy over there, they were fucking showering me with racial slurs, showering me.
That's
and you
got
don't
nothing
notice
to
it.
do-
You don't
wait,
notice
camera,
it. You
please.
see
That's got
racism
nothing to
in
do-
all the
Can I
others
ask one question?
except
No
in
idea
you.
what he's talking about.
You see racism
Sorry,
in all the
Darren,
others
I have no
except in
idea
you.
what he's talking
Darren and
about.
Pavlov, can I ask you one question? Why?
But he just
Darren,
made a
Darren.
statement there. I don't know
no.
what he's talking
Darren,
about. He said people were being racist to him. I don't know what he's talking about. I was nowhere around the scene. It had nothing to do with me.
No. Listen.
Did that have anything to do with me?
What?
No, listen.
What you just mentioned?
What? The racial slurs? With you? Well, they're your friends, man.
Was I with them?
You were with them.
What, when they was doing
Another
that?
guy he already left and this guy here.
So we need to talk about this then, because I have no idea
Okay,
what
let's
we're
talk
talking
about this. Let's talk.
So you've made an accusation?
And we're behind you always talk calling me a racist.
No, you said racial slur. I never called you a racist.
Yeah, you were telling me I'm white and I'm racist.
I said
That's a
you're
racial
white.
slur.
Are you mad?
Yeah, you did.
Darren.
Sorry, wait, Pavlov, yeah?
This is what I wanted to ask you.
wait.
Why do you not think he's a racist?
Pavlov. I told you why I think he's a racist. Pavlov.
Sorry, the
I don't
question
know
is-
that guy.
You
He's
don't
not
know
my
that guy.
friend.
You never met him.
That's a racist act right there. That's why he's a racist.
You were
I don't
hanging
know
out with him
Do you
for a
believe
very
everyone?
long
Do
time.
you believe
So just
everyone is
because he's
innately
black,
racist?
yeah, and he's saying
No, I
something to
don't.
him, we together, and that's my friend.
I don't believe
know this
everybody
guy.
is
I never met him in my
inherently
life. I don't know his name. I don't
I
know where
believe
he's
some
from.
people give importance to race because of the cosmetic differences in humans.
You made a claim. Discipline. You made a claim. You said that the gentleman over here was showering with racism. This brother says that he's not connected.
Okay, look, if you tell a person you're white, you're racist, it doesn't really sound very good.
I
It's a
don't know
racial
that guy.
slur.
I don't know that guy.
You're comparing the whole race, the whole white race,
Hey, brothers,
to racism.
Listen, one at a time talking. Let it go first. Go ahead. Ask him, hey, Darren, I want to ask you the question. Why do you think my man's a racist?
Honestly, sir.
From last week we all spoke about the Pan-African thing. It was the North African.
You know,
why do you think this guy's racist?
I'm not going to take that back. It's honestly not what my teacher teaches to be out here accusing people of being racist. But to me, it's obvious, man. Do you know what I'm saying?
There you go.
And if you're not, then prove me wrong by going and taking yourself away and learning some African history. And if you do that, then I might consider. But you are on the list, that's for sure. Every time I come in this park, if anyone asks me, you're on the list, man. You're on the list.
Which
fam.
list?
But your teacher does say you
list?
suspect him.
Yeah, I should suspect
You
him,
should
but
suspect.
I'm saying in front of everyone, yeah.
Suspect me because of what?
I'm saying in front of everyone, we could pretty much say, that it is what it is, isn't it?
Is it sorry?
Do you know what I mean?
Is it because you clashed on political issues? Then you think?
No. It's because he has a racist white supremacist take on history.
There you go. He doesn't explain. He just
I just
defines it in his
We
own
have a
way.
racist
He doesn't
white
explain what
supremacist
happened.
take on
He
history.
just defines it. He immediately makes you think that what he's saying is true. He doesn't describe what happened. Now, what really happened is his friend, and don't tell me he's not your friend. You know him very well. Shakara is your buddy. Yeah. You have the same
That guy, I
theology.
don't know him.
There you go. Talking behind my back. Sure. You want to come forward?
See, that's your own personal beef. You tried to bring me into that.
Of course
you tried to bring me into your own personal beef.
Now,
You got problems with him, not with me.
Shakara was saying that only blacks deserve to call themselves African. All the other races, all the mixed race people, like the white people, the whatever, whichever race he's talking about that live in Africa, that have lived there for a very long time, they don't deserve to call themselves
That's his view. Okay, so
Well, that's his view, and I disagreed with it. I told him you shouldn't call yourself Pan-African.
And what did you say?
Because
he should
not
call
only
himself
black people
again?
deserve to call themselves Africans.
What did you say we should call
Yeah,
ourselves?
Well, I said, seeing that you put so much importance in race, and seeing that the three races are Mongoloid, Caucasoid, Negroid, you should call yourself Pan-Negroid. If you want to call yourself Pan-African, it doesn't make a lot of sense. That's all I said.
But the reason that-
What is so racist about it? Tell me. I came from
I didn't say
his
that.
words, not mine. I spoke about those words. I
You
debunked
practiced
those
racism
words.
throughout that
How?
interview. You
How?
practiced racism
How?
throughout that interview.
How?
Like you're doing now.
How?
Deception.
There you go. There you go. You see, it's very easy. Sorry. Exactly. It's very easy to say you're lying and thus you're a racist. You're lying, thus you're a racist. You didn't prove me that I was lying. You didn't disprove
I
anything I
have
said.
proved that you're lying. Where's your sources for your information?
Guys, 1 second. What's the definition of racism?
There you go.
To catch him out on his racism, if he's being racist, define racism.
Good.
But
Good
that's
question.
that's the first step.
Yeah, I have a definition.
Okay, what's the definition? Just give us the definition. We'll see if it's corresponds.
I would like to hear his first, and then I'll give mine.
Okay, give your definition.
Oh, well, seeing that you won't tell me about any achievements of black people, I won't tell you about the achievements of black people too. What about it now? Are you going to Google definition of racism?
Let's work with the definition of Google, right?
I have the definition on my phone. Is it okay if I get it?
You don't know what racism is.
Because I roll with information. I don't.
You
just
don't know what racism
talk.
is, do you?
I have the definition on my phone. Yes.
What
from
is the
Mr.
definition? No,
Neely
you
Fuller
can't
Jr.
look at it. Tell me the definition.
Why can't I look at it?
Tell
'Cause you
him.
say-
I can tell him.
What is
so
this
you
like,
can't
I
listen.
can't look at it? Why can't I
No,
look
bro,
at it?
listen. You are trying
I'll
to
look at
catch
it if
me.
I want
You're
to.
trying to catch me and expose me as some kind of racist, which I'm not. And I made it very clear many times here that I follow meritocracy, and meritocracy is not based on race; it's based on your skills.
And this is what you're
how
gonna
good
say,
you are
isn't
at
it?
doing something. Oh, of course, you can watch any of my videos, all the different ways,
I don't need
different
to watch your
logics
videos, I just
I go
listen
through
to-
to explain my opinions. If you don't know about it, that's your problem.
Black history.
Sorry?
Is that why you're trying to poke holes in black history?
What poke holes? I didn't listen. Oh my God, bro! You see, this is another guy who was calling me a racist because I'm white.
Listen,
Get out, man! Get out!
Pablo, brother, it's not because of your skin color.
Why are you
Pablo,
pointing your
don't pay attention to them. Don't pay attention to them, Pablo.
that shit away?
Listen to me now, yeah?
Go ahead.
It's not your skin color, it's your ideology, it's what's up in here, yeah? It's nothing to do with your skin color, it's what's in your head.
It's an ideology
It's your
to give a lot of importance to the skin color and to qualities of your.
No, your ideology does that, yeah? But I don't have a problem with your skin
Oh,
color.
you don't have a problem.
Do you know
Seems
my
like you
mum,
do.
yeah? My mum,
Seems
yeah?
like you do.
Because you're gonna try this, so this is why it's good that I'm mixed race, yeah? My mum is actually white.
Yeah, I know.
Right,
I know
so
one of your parents must
believe
be
me
white
when I say-
because you're not completely black.
believe me when I say I don't have a problem with your skin color. I have a problem with what's up here in your head.
With what you think is up here in my head. What
Right.
you think is there.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Well, that's it.
Right, I cannot think for you. I don't know what's going on in your head. Yeah? I don't know what's going on in your head. Yeah? I'm prepared to try and get to know you, Pablo. Yeah, while I'm here. Yeah. Right? And I'm prepared for you to prove me wrong, Pablo. For real. Yeah?
Okay, so tell me your definition of racism. Okay, fuck your phone, man. I'll tell you the definition of racism. Don't read me the shit you have there. Definition of racism is to discriminate against someone based on their race. To treat them differently just because of their race. To not give them a chance just because of their race. That is racism. Thank you. What's your definition of racism?
Off the top of my head, off the top of my head, off the top of my head.
Listen, you don't seem to know that.
Guys,
I got it.
The only way this discussion is gonna go forward.
Race is a psychological ideology to control the masses.
The only.
If you take out the R, what you got? You got a yes.
The only way.
Look here, the greatest is here now. But I'm not greater than the Messiah. No, I'm not greater than the Messiah.
Listen, do you want my definition?
Right?
My definition of racism is racism
Race is a clear word.
meaning white supremacy,
Not correct. The R.
meaning one and the same. Yeah. So my definition of racism
I'm teaching
is
you the one word that to read.
racism meaning white supremacy, meaning racism. Yeah. So racism and white supremacy meaning the same thing. Yeah, is a system of mistreatment by those who classify themselves as white, domination and mistreatment of people who are classified as non-white, yeah, by those who classify themselves as white. That's my definition.
All right. So, quick question about your definition. Is white supremacy the only kind of racism?
Yes.
Bullshit. And that proves you as a racist. Racism is not only against blacks.
There you go.
Racism is against everybody. If you want to discriminate against
I'm
anyone,
a racist.
there you go.
See
You're a
how far I
racist.
get with that?
You're a racist. If you think white supremacy is the only racism, and if a black person discriminates against a white person, even if
White supremacy,
Chinese person
racism
discriminates against the
is
black
the only functional form of racism in 2019.
The thing is,
It's the only
racism
functional
is in every race. They put their own race in slavery anyway. Whites did it, blacks did it. Been doing it for thousands of years. So if you're looking for a definition of racism, you're looking for modern day art, aren't you? So if you two can't get on with your beliefs about what you think they are, then
Thank you. This man has a good point.
Yeah, you will fine. Yeah, and he's entitled to his opinion again.
Well, he
yeah?
is.
I am stating
And I'm
yeah,
entitled to
that in 2019, white
It's the current
supremacy
year.
racism. Have you finished? Are you talking?
Sorry, go ahead.
Right, so I am stating in 2019 that racism, meaning white supremacy, yeah, is the only functional form of racism.
I don't think racism
Can I
is-
finish, sir?
Can I
Can I
say one
finish?
thing?
Can I finish? No, because I'm still speaking. Yeah, and what I'm saying is more important. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm giving him something that he asked for. That's why it's important. Yeah? So you asked me for the definition, yeah, and I'm telling you that the only functional form of racism on this planet in 2019 is white supremacy racism. It's the only form of racism that functions with any force, political, religious, that counts. Yeah. So my little, however I feel about you. Yeah, it don't really matter. You see what I'm saying? That's my point. Yeah. So you can say black people this way, it don't count. Yeah, they're not. Their so-called racism, yeah, is not having an influence on your life. That's my point. Yeah?
Do you really think there are no black people with power?
Who? Barack Obama?
No, not Barack Obama.
Well, who are you talking about then? He was the most powerful black man on the planet. So
He
who you
was.
talking about?
He was.
Who you talking
He's
about?
not right now.
Who are you talking about then,
I'm
innit?
talking about, for example, leaders of countries in Africa.
No one, yeah? Please, you're going to make a quote to the Almighty, yeah? You promise you're not going to tell no one? Give me your little finger. I'm not joking, you know.
When he went to Makkah, he was not racist. It's a society he was living in.
Don't forget, it's first time he talked to black people.
What?
We've never seen a black man in this country, man.
Oppose every lying powers, yeah? You see this earth that we stand on, it belongs to the people.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And the
sir.
wind that they bring, trust me.
But
Please
please,
don't shake no
No, I
man.
won't, sir.
I was good if I know where this come from the heavens of heavens to the holy gates, right? Make sure you're all up.
Make your point.
Go on, yeah?
Tell me.
Let me tell you something. I speak sometimes about issues of black people because honestly, I pity you specifically. I pity people who think your way because the shackles are not on your wrists, the shackles are in here. You think the way you think because you were conditioned the way to think that way. If you never see yourself having the power to rule your fate, you will never rule your fate. You keep believing that whites, evil whites, are the ones who grab the power and they're the ones who are holding
Never
it.
use the word
You-
evil.
Bro,
Never use the word. just
never
make
use the
that-
word evil.
Yeah,
You think
never
the
use
only
the word
racism
evil.
that exists is the racism of whites against blacks. Is that true or not?
True.
Is racism evil?
Again,
Is it evil
never
or
use
not?
the word evil.
Is racism evil?
You're asking me a different
Is
question.
racism? No, I won't.
So what
Is
he's trying to
racism
do
evil?
now is he's trying
Is racism
to
evil?
make me answer that
I'm
question.
trying to get you
and
to a
then
logical
connect
conclusion, which is something you
evil
don't
with
do.
white again, like we did in the beginning.
Can I just say something to you? Black people are worse. They're worse slaves in their own kind all the time. White people. So it's a predominant thing between black and white people, isn't it? Putting each other in slavery,
Brother, you
subdividing
know
and ruling.
I love you, yeah, but you making my job real hard.
Oh,
right
no,
now,
no, 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 you
Well,
know
because
damn
your
well.
job
You
is
know
impossible.
damn well. Okay,
You're
okay.
trying to prove something that is not true.
Okay. How many times have black
Everybody
chiefs
enslaved everybody.
give black
When they
people
could.
to white Americans? Send them over as slavery. Because that was a predominant thing anyway.
But you know what though, I'm actually talking about right here in 2019. I'm not talking about slavery.
Okay, then modern day racism.
I'm talking about the act of white
modern day
supremacy,
racism.
racism that happened last week in this park. The acts of racism that are happening right now
What
as I'm
happened last
talking
week?
in this park.
What happened
yeah?
last week?
And even if it wasn't concerning you, are you saying that there's no racism that
What
happens in
happened
this park?
last week?
There was racism in the park.
Okay, give me what happened. I don't know about it.
There was a lot of infactual history. That's one.
What? You mean I was
I'm not
practicing
gonna say
racism?
names, right? And let's
There
just
you
take
go.
the names out of it because I've already
Okay,
done
so
that.
you're talking about what I did, and you're calling that racist.
Yeah.
It was a disagreement, bro.
Look,
It
don't
was a
make it.
disagreement about history.
Listen, Pavlov, I
I
saw
might be
you
right,
earlier.
I might be wrong.
Listen,
I never
bro.
claimed to be absolutely right. I never
Sir.
claimed to be the word of God.
Listen to me.
I might be wrong.
I saw
I need
you
you to
earlier.
prove me that I'm wrong.
I saw you earlier, and what did I say to you? Yeah. It's all information. Me and you, this is not personal,
I need
isn't it?
you
Yeah?
to prove me that I am wrong so that people can know that I am wrong. If you don't prove me as wrong...
What do you want me to prove you wrong?
I want you to prove the things I said as wrong.
I've already done that, Pavlo.
You didn't. You showed some books.
Exactly, and that's how you're wrong.
No, man, you
I
need to
turned up with
speak.
sources.
You need to explain.
No, see, I ain't got the
you need to
time for
explain
that.
the
That's
mentality
thing about
behind
me.
it.
Pavlov, see, I
You need to
entertain
give people a crash course.
But I'm not as patient as Shakara, you understand me? So what I did, yeah, is I presented the information so people can go and look if they want to. I'm not going to sit here and do a hour history lesson. I leave that to my boy to turn up next week and
Why?
he can finish you off.
If you want
Do know
people
what I'm
to
saying?
know, explain them.
No, see, all I want people to know.
Why are you so against explaining
Do you know
people
what I
your
want
history?
people to know? I'm not here to teach
Why are you
history.
so against?
I'm
Why?
not here to teach history.
Well, why did you confront me then?
I'm here to expose the people that talk about history.
What expose? I want you to teach
when they
me,
don't
man.
know. You don't know what you was talking
If
about.
you know
last
something
week.
I don't, teach me.
Pavlov.
But you refuse to do it.
Pavlov.
All you want is to say on camera, I exposed Pavlov. He is a liar. He is a racist. But you don't teach anything. You don't explain anything. You don't go through the steps to explain why I'm wrong. You just want to say on camera, I exposed him. That's all you want.
Did I use that word one time?
Oh my God. You also didn't say that whites are evil, but you said whites are racist and racism is evil, which means whites
Did
are
I say
evil.
all white people are racist?
Oh my God, you cannot be serious. You said the only racism that exists
If you don't
is the
believe in
racism
God, you
of
keep
whites
saying, "Oh my
against
God,
blacks. That's the only racism that exists according to you. What sense does that make?
What I'm saying to you, yeah, is right, and I'm just gonna use the example right here. In Britain, with blacks at 2%, yeah, right, white supremacy racism is the only racism that counts. We're just gonna leave it right here. So with blacks at 2%,
But why? Do blacks
anyway.
never discriminate against whites here? Just because you're the minority doesn't mean you don't discriminate.
Let me jump in forward. So here's what it is, right? You guys, I'm just suspecting, you guys have two different ways of viewing things. So that's why you guys can't seem to agree, unless someone's practicing deception, right? So, the brother has books. If you study the books, there's a certain philosophy that comes from those books. Now, Brother Neely Fuller Jr. says that there are three races that matter, right? There's the white supremacists, the whites, and the non-whites. So that's according to Brother Neely Fuller.
Wait.
talking about the
Nobody ever
system.
spoke about that.
Well, that's why I'm trying to help out. But have you noticed that you guys haven't moved for like 24 minutes? That's what I'm trying to
Well, I'm
bring
trying
in.
to move it somewhere.
Well, I'm trying to help now, right? So according to Brother Neely Fuller, there's three races. According to white supremacy logic,
races.
three races. Yeah, that matter when it comes to white supremacy, right?
Okay, but
That's
only according to my
yeah. The white race.
Bro, you shut up.
Bro,
What are you doing?
Why you describing?
What are you doing here, man? You're not saying
Now
anything.
this could be
If you want to
described.
speak, come here. Come here. You're afraid.
Now,
You're scared.
this could be seen as confusion.
You're scared. You're scared. You're scared. Come here. Come here. Come here. Debunk what I'm saying.
Listen.
Oh, you can't. Then just keep quiet. Keep quiet. Who's fascist? Are you looking in the mirror?
Do you want to
Are you
understand?
looking in the mirror?
Brother, give
Are
him
you
a
looking in
chance.
the mirror?
Stay focused.
Are you looking in the mirror?
Stay focused.
This is why I don't get involved with this.
Stop it.
I'm just listen, the problem I'm saying is I understand this conversation will go on for like 3 hours. I've been there, right? So I'm trying to say, if you understand the perspective. So according to Brother Neely Fuller Jr., right? Three races: white race, the white supremacists, yeah.
You know
white
he
and the
already
non-
knows this though. You know that.
yeah, but we're talking for the camera. now.
Inside of white supremacy.
Yeah, white supremacist logic, right? It's all in this book, right? So now, when it comes to racism, right? Some people define racism as prejudice plus power, meaning that
Some people.
yeah. Okay, but when you're talking to someone who accept that, that's when they get nowhere, right? So what they're saying is a black person might hate you because you're white, right? But because there's no system behind it, they describe that as bigotry, right? That's how they might see it.
Let me tell you something.
right.
If you would say institutionalized racism, I would believe you prejudice cross power because it makes sense.
Right.
Just racism makes no sense
Yeah,
because it's not implied
But-
in the
but
word.
here's the issue, right?
Racism
Here's the
is
issue.
not just about whites against blacks.
But some people want to talk about a particular. Yeah, okay. So what I'm saying, this is now word language, right?
no sense.
So bigotry exists. They hate someone because of their
course.
color, right?
Yes, it does.
But the area of interest that this president seems to be bringing up is the white supremacist system that he's describing.
Yeah, that's all I'm
That's what he's
focused
talking
on.
about,
Every
right?
time I come in this park. and
Yeah,
you
that's
see
what.
me,
So that's what that's the his area of interest because he understands it that is the power system that's governing his reality. Yeah. Well, wherever. Well, according
Not
to
wherever.
according to white supremacists,
according to white supremacy. What do you mean according to white supremacy? White supremacy a book you're quoting?
See, now he's going to start asking you questions, and we
I'm asking difficult questions. You don't want to answer
No, we're not
questions.
asking no white people's questions today.
There you go. There you go. No white people questions. There you go. There you go.
Let me clarify my statement.
Show your true colors. Go
White
ahead.
people will ask you 100 questions, and then you ask them one, and they're out of there. That's what you did last week.
Of
You
course.
spent an hour asking Shakara questions. I asked you one question, and you got out of there, fam.
No,
You
jump
was
in.
like,
Hey,
yo,
Just like for the Nazis, it's all the Jews. For you, it's all the whites.
What the brother's
Very-
saying
very
is
good,
there's a
very good.
pattern.
Very intelligent. Very intellectual.
According to white supremacist logic, right? Yeah, there's a pattern that seems to happen when non-black people, when non-white people speak to white people about racism, and he's identifying a pattern. Now, the motivation behind the pattern we don't know, right? But I'm saying it's a consistent pattern, and he just demonstrates. That's what he feels.
While I'm in the
Yeah, he
park,
spoke to me about it, and it's fine for him to speak about it.
Can I ask one question right now?
you can.
Darren, brother, why, again, I keep asking you this question, why do you personally think Pablo, why do you think Pablo's a racist?
Pablo.
And then we're going to give you the floor, please just, because from last week, this whole conversation started from last week, yeah? From last week, I like Zim. We were all there, us three were there mainly.
Yes.
So what do you, why? I just want to ask you that question.
Just general observations, like I say, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said what I said. Yeah, but for right now, I'm standing on what I said because I've had interactions with the man. So that's why I feel like that.
So you feel like he's a racist?
From my interactions with him, genuinely, that's how I feel.
Okay,
yes.
can I ask a question, my Kuwaiti brother?
Yes, go ahead.
It was Ali.
Yes.
You said, I know Pablo,
Yeah.
and you said you don't think he's a racist.
Yeah.
Why don't you think he's not a racist?
Because for me, the definition of racism is discrimination based upon somebody's skin color, right?
Okay.
And with the implicit logic that he is inferior to the other person based upon his skin color, right? So two aspects, one discrimination, one superiority. I have not seen Pavlov discriminate, from what I've seen, discriminate upon someone else because of the color of his
he
skin.
means he ain't seen the niggers and all that. I'm not
Right?
saying that he does that. Yeah? He does it very intellectually. Of course.
So what do you
Listen,
feel?
how do you,
okay. How do you feel?
I
How
can-
does he do it? What did you sense?
He does it academically, doesn't he?
How does he do it academically?
Does it
That's something that I want to know.
I think what the brother's saying is he feels that he's practicing deception, and the reason he's saying it is and he's trying to push evidence together, like you know, you're very knowledgeable about this, but you're not very knowledgeable about that.
And I
when it
gave
comes
him
to-
the chance. We told him to turn up this week with sources to back what he's saying, and he chose not to. I did.
He's also saying that he's making claims that like the ancient Egyptians wasn't black, and he's saying that could be a form of
And
practicing
where's his
deception.
proof? So where he decided not to provide proof, and his proof was his words, his say-so, to me that's a blatant act of racism, white supremacy, I have to say.
The thing is,
because he wasn't talking to white people about it either. He came and injected himself into a black conversation that he was not there in the beginning. So check this, like we talking now, he comes from the outside, injects himself into the conversation, and then all the information that he gives in that conversation is false, and I know it to be false. So from this, I come to my conclusion that he is what I said that he is. Yeah, and I feel I'm entitled to do that. Now, if he can prove me wrong, he might have turned up with the sources today.
You embarrass black people. You embarrass them.
You're entitled to your opinion.
After this question, we're going to give
No one black here is telling me
okay.
to shut up. No one is telling me that I'm embarrassing them.
Look,
So you're
if
entitled to
he
your
is
opinion,
spewing infactual information, it doesn't make him a racist. If he is deceiving somebody else, it doesn't make him a racist.
It doesn't if he's ignorant. But if he's not, if he knows what he's doing, which I suspect he does.
Look, I'm sure that Pavlov thinks what he's saying is right, and that's why he's arguing for it very fervently. He's just waiting for someone to deconstruct.
So you're saying he's almost naive? Is that what you're saying?
At the same time, I know that Pavlov really holds on to his opinion very well. I've argued and debated with him before, and I know this for a fact. Okay.
We have.
But when he deceives, when he comes unprepared, when he spews infactual information, it doesn't make him racist. I understand that the way that he may frame something, sorry bro, the way that he frames some things may seem a little bit racist because someone else who was actually racist may have framed things in the same way. right?
Well, do you know what the problem is here, though?
But let me tell you something.
Do you know why I'm
Let me
going to
tell you
stop you?
something.
Do you know why I'm going to stop you? Because number one, yeah, we working off a different definition for racism anyway.
What's your
what
working
you're saying
definition?
to me, yeah, doesn't really matter. I'm not trying to be rude, sir.
That's what I'm trying to identify, right?
Yeah.
You have different ideas of what racism is. That's why you always
This is why from the very beginning I told you guys define what racism is.
So
Debate that
basically,
out.
just did.
Agree to a definition.
You're saying to me, yeah, like if I say something to you to do with your colour, yeah, then I could potentially be a racist, yeah. What I'm saying is, you know, we're
If you
way past
discriminate,
that. Yeah?
degrade me based
on
upon my
colour.
yes.
Yeah.
That's in that sense.
What I'm saying, yeah, is that
Yeah.
the only people that do that anyway, yeah, are white people. And listen to what I'm saying, yeah.
I can.
Let me make
disagree
it
with
make sense. Let me make it make sense, yeah.
Make it
white
sense.
people
Make it make sense.
came up with the classifications. We didn't do it. We didn't come up with the classifications. So there you go. So we didn't come up with the races, yeah. White people did.
All right. So would you classify?
Why are you shaking your head?
would
Am I lying, sir?
No,
You
we're not
are lying.
So tell me
Please,
why I'm
please,
lying.
Pablo.
Present the, no, I want to know
Because
why I'm lying.
you're
I want
only
to know why I'm
seeing
lying.
one narrative
from
of
the scholar,
history.
from the historian.
You're only seeing one narrative of history.
I can't
do you
carry
think?
on this conversation with you. I need to know why I'm lying. From
Do you-
this
do you
guy.
know-
Because he just made a
maybe Ali,
statement.
brother,
I made a factual
maybe-
statement, and then he told me
Maybe
I'm
you
lying.
haven't seen something racist in him because
When
you
was
don't
white
experience
created?
the same
Do you know-
racism levels
When was
that
the
we
def-
see.
when
I
was
understand. I
the
understand
term
that could be a
white
possibility.
created?
I
And
understand
who
that could be a
created it?
possibility. But
You
he
call
said
yourself
that
a white
there's only
man?
one form of
People
racism.
always
Are you a
saw
white man?
differences
Something that I
between
disagree
them.
with. What are you
It's just that they
classified as,
called it
Buffalo?
in a different way.
When was the
It's nowadays
definition,
that
the
people care
classification
so
of
much
white
about
created,
race. They
and
didn't
who
always
created
care
it?
about race this much
You don't know,
throughout
do you?
history. Do you want
You
me
don't
to
even
speak or
know
do you
why
want to
you
keep
call yourself-
interrupting me?
No, because I'm asking
Does it
you
feel good?
specific
Does it feel
questions.
good
Okay,
thinking
Darrell.
in your head that I'm a racist? Does it feel good? Does it feel good to refuse all the things that I'm saying?
You haven't said
Everything I'm
anything.
saying
You
as,
haven't said
oh, this
anything.
evil
You
racist
haven't
is
said
trying to
anything.
destroy me.
You haven't said one
I am
word
trying
since
to
we started
help
talking.
you.
You're not
I'm
helping
trying
anyone.
to counsel you.
Present me some
because
sources.
this
You're
ideology
the
you're
one who
practicing
needs
does
counseling.
not
You're the
help
one
your
who's
people.
mentally
I am
ill.
going to end
You're
this
the one
conversation
who's
right
mentally
now
ill.
on this
Go
note.
then, innit? You're not going to get the
am
last word. I'm going to
tired.
keep rapping
I am
when
tired.
you're gone.
I
I'm gone.
am
I'm
bro,
MCing
bro,
all
I am
night,
tired.
fam.
I'm
Yeah?
tired. I'm tired
That's
of this.
fine, and I'll
I'm
let you
tired of.
finish,
I'm
innit?
tired of this. I'm tired of being called racist.
Right, because you haven't
against
presented
all
any
truth, against all proof,
information.
against
What truth?
everything
There's
I've
no
spoken
truth.
here,
There's no
against
truth.
people who
There's
would
no
tell you
information, there's no facts.
I didn't ever speak
All you're doing is
in a racist
talking.
manner.
I'm white and I'm
tired
black.
of this,
Yeah.
and I'm going to
Oh,
promise
can I
you
stop
one
you there?
thing.
Most-
I am not going to
And don't
mention
get straight with
black
me, fam, 'cause we will
history
do that,
again.
yeah?
I'm
Don't
not
try and
going to
get-
do it again because there is no point. Because whether I'm right
There's no point to get hostile. There's no need to get hostile.
Sorry, can I stop you there? Can I stop you there? Let me just say something.
There's no need.
Modern day racism, right? Can I just stop you there? Modern day racism, black man and a white man don't talk to each other anyway. Full stop, and you know that. They'd rather gun each other down around the fucking corner.
Nah, I don't.
You know damn well, modern day white man and modern day black man who are racist don't talk to each other. Full stop, and you know it.
VGQ.
You know it. You know damn well, mate. Seriously. And that's modern day racism.
I told you earlier, it's information, it's not personal, remember that. I did tell you that earlier, and we shook hands, yeah? So we can do all this on the camera, it's cool, yeah? You know what time it is, yeah? You know what time
Okay,
it
I
is.
never said it's personal.
Right,
I never
so-
assumed it's personal.
Okay, so as long as you know that, yeah? I don't have a problem with you. I don't
If I
have a
cared,
problem with
listen, if I took to heart everything people tell me in Speaker's Corner, I wouldn't come
Shaka
here
said,
anymore.
yeah, right?
If I took it, if I got triggered on everything people tell me here,
I just want
would
you
piss
to
off. I
know you
wouldn't come
can
here.
always approach me and, do you know what I'm saying? You
Sure,
can do
but listen.
that.
So therefore, you're
Because
not.
I'm going to approach you.
I don't want to engage in a discussion in which whether I'm right or wrong, whether I have good points or not, will not be listened. I don't want to engage in a discussion like that because it's pointless. I will look bad. People will associate my face with racism. I will look terrible. I will have problems, maybe outside of here. I don't want to take the risk. That's why I didn't want to speak about black history. Because every time a white person speaks about black history nowadays, they get associated with racism
Will you
if
think
they get
twice
even the
before doing it
smallest
ever
thing
again?
wrong.
Will you think twice
And
before
this
doing
is
it
the
again?
last time I'm talking about black history.
That's
I don't
right.
want to
That's
speak
good.
about
That's
this.
good. So
I don't know, but
that's good.
No,
That's
but listen,
good.
I don't want to speak about this.
You
because
shouldn't.
whether I'm
You shouldn't.
right or wrong,
No, you shouldn't.
Look, just keep your ideals. Keep it.
You shouldn't talk about it because you don't know what you're talking about.
Just
fam.
keep it. Keep it. Okay.
You should just shut your mouth.
It's self-destructive. It's bad for you. It's wrong.
Yeah.
But keep it.
Yeah.
You know? Just keep it.
Yeah. So you're not going to talk about black history no more. and I'm not gonna call
I was never focusing in black history. I happened to speak about this because I had a small disagreement.
Do you know what, yeah? I suggest, yeah, because I would like you to talk about.
Whoa, what is that? What is that? Did I just hear fuck him up?
I would like.
Oh, are you gonna fuck me up?
I don't want you. I don't want
when you're talking that they're going to say that you're lying even though you don't think you are lying.
I don't want you to stop talking about anything, Pavlo. Pavlo,
Fucking no.
I don't really want you to stop talking about anything. I want you to talk about whatever you want. Yeah.
What's the
point?
point?
I would say, I will agree with you. There's no point in trying to talk to black people about African history when. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let me put it like this. Yeah. If we both have different perceptions on the history, then you might as well keep your one over there.
Okay, so you need to be black to know black history.
You might as well keep your perception over there of black history, and we'll keep our perception of black history over there, and don't come into our circle and try to mix it. Because when you do that, yeah, we're gonna suspect, yeah, that your motives are...
Why would you suspect? Look, that's the problem. You need to accept some kind of criticism, some kind of outside influence,
but not
or else
from
you will
you.
never be able to. Why not from me? Because I'm white. Because I'm not black. Look, condescending. You see?
No,
you see condescending.
I'm sure
Why
these
is it
guys
trying to help you.
Pavlov, these guys are a little bit...
Why does it sound condescending?
Black history.
There's
many inconsistencies.
You know these guys. You've been here.
Hey,
You've seen
like
them.
this specific.
These guys don't want your help, Pavlov. They don't want you. They don't want your input.
I think regardless, it's agreeable. It's agreeable that dialogue is important, right? Look, I'm Shia. When a Sunni comes and talks to me about like something that happened that's predominantly seen as Shia history, right? I want him to come and speak with me, right? He may have a different opinion. He may want to hold on to his opinion, but it gives me an opportunity to correct what he has. When he talks to you, you'll get an opportunity to correct his information. Do you get what I mean?
It's your assumption I'm not being genuine. You read minds.
Am I lying?
Do you read minds?
Am I lying?
Bro,
I'm asking you a question.
You don't think you're lying.
I'm asking you,
Listen,
Pavlov, am I lying?
Okay. Why are lie detectors imperfect? Why don't we just use the lie detector? Bro, don't interrupt. Nothing to add to the conversation.
Pavlov, am I lying? Am I lying?
Calm down. Lie detectors are not always trustworthy.
You're lying.
Lie detectors are not always trustworthy.
Am I lying?
Lie detectors
Why
are
can't
not
you call me a liar?
always.
I'm calling
Because
you a
you
liar.
think you're telling the truth, but you're not. You think, you're very convinced you're telling the truth.
So
in your
lying.
head.
Am I lying?
In your head, you're not.
Am I lying?
What you're
Pavlov?
saying
am
is
I
not
a liar?
true.
I
What
want
you're
you to
saying
tell
is
me
not
I'm a
There's a
liar.
difference between saying something that's not true
Thank
and
you.
lying.
Thank
Lying
you.
implies intentionally saying something that you
Okay,
know.
what am I saying that's not true?
Why do you listen to a person who's black
What am I
but not
saying
a
that's
person
not
who's
true?
white?
What am I saying that's not true?
He's saying the same thing as I'm saying.
What am I saying that's not true?
Yeah, you
I'm
got
asking you.
You called me racist. You're telling me I'm not being genuine.
So you're
How
telling
can you
these
say
people
that?
it's not true. I'm saying I'm entitled to think that you're that. I'm
Yeah, you
entitled-
are.
As
You
a
are.
victim of racism, white supremacy.
Okay,
I'm
now you're a
entitled-
victim. You're a victim
Yes,
here
this
now.
Is what the book
I'm
says. Read the book. Let me
victimizing
get
you
this,
right
yeah?
here, right now.
A textbook workbook for thought, speech, and action for victims, yeah, of racism, white supremacy. I'm a victim of racism, white supremacy. So,
Am I the perpetrator? Am I the
If I
perpetrator?
want to call people that I believe, yeah, are practicing racism on me as a victim, I'm gonna call them out.
Yeah, dude, you can't
I'm
just
not
come
scared
near a
to do
person,
it.
a random
Do you know what I'm
person.
saying?
Oh, you're racist. Oh, you know you're racist. Oh,
I
you know
can.
you're
If I have
racist.
the evidence,
Oh, you're a
of
Nazi.
course I
You're a
can.
fash. You're a bash the fash. Kick him. Kick his
And
ass.
I wouldn't
Punch him.
recommend that if you don't have the evidence.
Bro,
but if you have the evidence, man,
Bro,
put it
it
on
makes
that
no
whole
sense.
boat, yeah?
How can you not notice
I have
that
the
what you're
evidence.
saying makes no sense?
Pavlov, until you show up
You
with them,
can't come near a person,
until
tell
you
him a
show up with them
racist, and then
sources,
say
bro.
because I feel like you're racist.
Bro, until you show up with them
I feel,
sources,
I
bro.
feel.
Until you show up with them sources to prove what you're saying, bro.
No.
You weren't saying nothing but white supremacist rhetoric. And
There
that's
you go.
the- that's
There
the
you
truth.
go.
Do you think this all could have been solved if Pavlov would have framed everything that he thought differently? Rather than saying that this is truth, he would have said, I heard that this might be true.
Yeah.
That would be nicer.
That would have been.
That would be nice.
Did you see the
would you be
video
willing?
that
Would
we're talking about?
Would you be willing to change the way that you frame things when you talk about black history?
I've been talking a long
Right,
time. You
because-
saw the video. Yeah?
because it's
Can
such
you
a
give an
sensitive
opinion?
topic.
Can we get outside?
Man, from now on, I don't even want to speak about black history.
I was there last
I don't want
already.
This is not a discussion.
Even already while we're
This is not a
standing,
discussion.
they
This
said
is.
bare
I feel.
inconsistent
I
stuff.
think.
That
I
makes
feel.
you
I feel.
know.
I feel. You're racist. You're fascist. You're racist. You're Nazi. I don't want to speak about this.
I wouldn't say.
I don't want to
I
talk
wouldn't
about
say.
it. So look, guys. That's it. That's it. End of story. End of conversation. Let's finish this here and now. just like with Omar, that's it. End of the problem. See you later.
So he's gone. You know, and out of respect, I'm not gonna speak about the man when he's left. Yeah, that's it. We'll leave it as that.
No, but what I wanted to realise,
Questions on the topic we can talk about. Yeah.
see, the subject that you're talking about, it's about identifying what a white supremacist is. Like I said again, Darren, what made you think Pavon was a white supremacist in that conversation? That's what I wanted to know.
Honestly, it was the white supremacist take on history that he had. You know, black people never did anything in the history of time. Like, man, are you serious? And do you know, if he was a bit, you know, slow or couldn't speak good, or do you know what I'm saying? But I have to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's an intelligent young man. Yeah? Even though he's 23, and I said that to him on a live, I said, you know what, being 23, yeah, and from Ukraine, possibly, yeah, and I give him that, yeah, the government maybe didn't teach you this information, yeah, but the fact that you can't now take the time to go and find out why you was wrong, it's making me suspect even more, because it's like you're dismissing everything that I say, you dismiss everything my boy said. In fact, you seem to dismiss anything anyone black says if it don't agree with you.
Because you know better.
So, brother Ali, so this is what I want. This is what I spoke to you. Just off camera, brother Ali. Yeah, you were asking questions, and I was like, maybe brother Ali, you don't see the racism that he's doing compared to a black person, because you are from.
They're not having those historical discussions. So, if you were talking to him about your history, right, and because I'm not sure where you're from, but listen,
I'm from Kuwait.
Okay, right. Well, let's just say, for instance, you were from Egypt, yeah, right?
All right.
And you were the colour of my brother's hair, yeah? And you were speaking about Egyptian history or Kuwaiti history, and everything he's saying about Kuwait is wrong, and you know it.
All right.
In your head, you know it. Everything that he's saying to you about Kuwait, is infactual.
Okay.
And now, how long can you really stand there and listen to it? So, the point is, yeah, is that we know that he's not that stupid. Yeah, we don't think that he's that ignorant. So we think, yeah, that he's perpetuating a line of history. Yeah, a white supremacist thinking.
See, my take on that is that he may not be ignorant, right? He may be an intellectual, like you said,
he's ignorant,
right?
yeah.
But he can be arrogant. The smartest of people can be the most arrogant, the most egotistical, right? He could just not want to change his perspective on things.
Now, do you mind if I just cut you shortly? I'll be 2 seconds.
Let him talk, because I think Ali's got a point, Darren. Yeah, go ahead.
Because right, I can get that he shares the complexion of the people, right, that enforce white supremacy, right, and it can almost seem as if it is a live possibility. It's a live possibility that he is practicing white supremacy because of the color of his skin, and at the same time, his presence is juxtaposed to your presence, and you're black, right? So what that gives the impression that he's almost in a talking to you with a condescending posture. Do you get what I mean?
If you pay attention to the video, you can actually see it.
It can be interpreted that way, but from a different perspective, it can just be interpreted as him being arrogant, wanting to win the debate.
Now I've got a question for you. Listen, I've got a question for that, yeah?
Yes.
Let's say you're right, yeah? The problem with that, yeah, is that we're going to seem to find a pattern. We'll find 1,000 Pavlovs. Now, are they all what you just said? No, see, there's a pattern what I'm witnessing here. And so I would actually take what you're saying into consideration if I couldn't find another 1,000 of him. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is there's intellectual white people that turn up to conversations. They got degrees and everything, PhDs and all that, and they don't know no African history. Get out of it. Get out of it. Yeah?
From Ukraine.
I'm talking about people in universities that write books, yeah? They'll write a whole book on Africa, on North Africa, and none of the Africans will be black. Get out of here with that. Yeah? We see you from over there. And that's what I'm trying to tell Pavlov here. Look here, you might not be calling man nigger and this and that in the park, but if you think you can come and inject yourself into conversations that black people are having when they're trying to build seriously, and then inject confusion, because that's all you're doing. Because you're not trying to solve
noticed that, and you know what you're talking about, I've noticed that a lot, where, you know, when the brothers come together, and we all start talking, and
I've
why
watched
does it
this
bother a
man
lot
on
of
the
people?
TV.
I like
I've watched these man. I've watched all these man building, and then I've watched the agent behaviour is what I'm gonna call it.
No, you got to be careful.
I just want to ask you a question.
Say Asian behaviour.
So sorry, can I say something?
Asian.
You got to be very careful.
No,
because
Asian.
Sorry. So you got to be very careful because there's a lot of black people and a lot of white people into premeditated propaganda. That's all it is. They just want to rip your whole idea apart, take you back to the past and say you didn't do anything. When you know damn well the whole history of their democracy is based on black history anyway.
Can I ask you a question? If someone who was black said what Pablo said, right? Come into the conversation. You don't know him, and he starts to contribute, or at least.
No, but this is a
try
whole
to
white
deconstruct.
conversation.
I get what you mean.
Is it the opposite way around, where a black
He would
person
have said,
comes in?
right?
But
if you got wrong, if you guys got it wrong, because if it wasn't a white person like Pablo, if it was me, if it was another an Arab or another black friend,
Let me ask that.
or another black brother, or somebody from Indonesia or China, would you interpret it in the same way?
No, I would have still stopped them and have to correct them though. And see, this is my whole problem.
Interpret it in that way.
The only reason is because I don't believe non-whites can practice racism. So if you as a Kuwaiti man, Arab man, right? Let me just stick to, because the Arab situation, whatever, but you, right? You're not a European, You cannot practice white supremacy racism. This is what I'm saying.
White supremacy racism, yes.
You can't practice
I
that.
can practice racism for sure, and I'm telling you that for
You
sure.
can't practice white supremacy.
White supremacy, yes.
But
in this country.
To me, sorry, that doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'll make it make sense. In this country, right, you are not classified as white.
So you're saying anyone that's not
ethnic minority.
So you're saying anyone that's not white.
Anyone that's not white.
I don't believe that, my bro.
No, but
me and you gonna need a personal
non-white people.
We're gonna need a
Non-white
personal
people can be
one-to-one
racist, and I'm gonna tell you that for sure. Non-white people can be racist, and I'm gonna tell you that for sure. Like Arab, there are a lot of Arabs.
This is a good example.
I was told at 6 years old by my primary school teacher, that you, Mr. Black Man, cannot be racist. You can only be prejudiced. You know what I'm saying?
Is that what your teacher told you?
Yeah. You can't be racist.
I disagree. I disagree.
Because of the simple fact, one, your people are not empowered. This is not your country.
If a black man came
you
up to
understand?
me,
So if you're racist to me,
give me an example.
it can be affected by
With us is more xenophobia.
No, I'm saying it can be right.
With us is more
That's a new
xenophobia.
word.
That word there that
That's
you're
a new
using is
thing.
the right word for
You know what I'm
it.
saying?
We don't have racism, we have the xenophobia.
Xenophobia.
Again, it's a new concept.
And that's a side
then
effect
again,
from
if a
racism.
black
Because
man
we
comes
go
up to
back,
me
it's
and
trying
says that I'm not a man, right? Unless I'm black, right? That's racism.
Listen,
That's not racism. That's a put down.
Listen, this is why I wanted him to give an
I saw
example
there was a guy.
of racism.
There was a guy in the park.
That's one man, black man.
Yeah,
Listen,
okay,
that's
but
one man, black
that's
man.
an
He might be
example.
Have you ever had racism from a white person?
From a white person?
Can you give me an
From
example
I
of
got one
white
from
racism?
No, I got one from a Pakistani, right? But let me
No,
tell
can
you,
you give me an example of white racism?
right, white racism
White,
towards me.
Yes.
Towards me.
As an Arab.
Do you know what white racism is,
Yeah, of course, but like I've
White
experienced it
racism
once.
is you won't get a job. White racism is you won't get a house. White racism
That's
is you won't
structural.
get in
That's
this country.
structural.
Now, but can I say
That's
something?
structural.
Darren.
I wasn't in this country for long enough to
What do you mean
experience.
structural? What do you mean structural?
Structural in terms of like being deprived of the means to live.
Who makes
right?
up the structure?
Right?
Institutions. Who make up
a lot of
institutions?
people. A lot of people in the establishment.
Something. Yeah, but the
right, are white.
institutions
That
this
can
is
be
a white
structural
country as
racism.
well, though.
Institutionally
This is what we.
racist. This is where
No,
the word comes
my
from,
black
innit?
brothers, in a way, don't you think like what you're saying? At the same time, we do live in a white country.
I'm saying.
Listen, the majority of people in this country are white.
I'm saying if you
gotta
leave
take
this
that-
country and you go to a black country,
Yeah,
It's not gonna happen.
you're under the system of racism and white supremacy. That's what I'm telling you. Even if you all see is black faces.
Yeah.
True.
Oh, I
But
can
you need
understand.
to-
I understand where you're coming
They
from.
control your government. They control your thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to keep into
Colonial-
consideration.
colonialism,
Like, first of
we've
all,
been colonized.
Arabs. There are some Arabs that are racist
All
towards
Arabs are racist. Most Arabs. No, majority of Arabs and the whole concept of Arabs and slavery.
Wait,
remember, because remember, you've been enslaving us
we have to
before
the conversation
Europeans.
truthful.
One second.
Don't get
No,
don't take it
Yeah.
personal.
You've been enslaving
I'll
us.
just ignore
That's
that.
why he
I'll
said.
ignore.
That's why we said leave it. before.
Back home.
But Arabs, hold on 1 second.
A long time ago,
Europeans,
Persians used
jumped
to be
on.
enslaved, not
No,
just
I'm
black
saying,
people.
Europeans,
It wasn't based on.
I'm saying Europeans, learned from Arabs, right? About slavery. They learned from them. It's not that they stopped. The British done their thing or the Europeans done their thing and they call it transatlantic. But while that was still going on, you lot were still kidnapping us, taking us different places. You know what I'm saying?
Don't
as long
take
as we're
it
the
personally.
Portuguese, remember before?
I'm just waiting for him to finish.
Right. So my point is, the Arab slave trade still going on. Right?
Still, to this day.
To this day.
Libya.
Libya.
Libya?
What are you talking about?
Libya?
Yes.
What's happening in Libya?
People are
like
being
us are in
enslaved.
cages.
By who?
By Arabs.
But who are the Arabs? How do they
You tell
identify?
me.
How do
Because
they identify?
These Arabs, this is why I know the classification of
they
Arab is
identify-
a very slippery
right,
subject. Because
How do
anyone
they
who is
identify?
of mixed origin can be an Arab.
The people who are in.
So it's non-specific.
Just let me. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, in history, if you look at history well and properly,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Arab history.
Yep.
Arabs used to enslave not only black people but also Persians. It wasn't based upon race like the West did.
Persians
right?
are black though.
Right? No, Persians. Do you want to? What?
Original
Have you seen
Persian.
Iranians? Oh my
And this
God.
is the problem when we're talking about history.
Just look at Iranians and
We're talking modern day now.
Right?
We're talking
Even
now.
back
No,
then.
we've got 10 minutes here.
Right,
Should
right.
we do this
We're
here?
talking
Next
now.
week,
No,
next week you
next
come with
week
your
we'll come.
sources, inshallah, and then we
All
work
right,
it out.
but I need to also make like
Go on.
another point, right?
Go on.
And second of all, the people in Libya that you're saying that are enslaving,
Yes.
they work for Daesh, right?
Right.
So Daesh, it's known even in Syria and Iraq, they started to enslave again because they have this perverse idea about what Islam is. Cool? Even though the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that the best thing that somebody could do is to,
Free a
or one of
slave.
the best things, is to free a slave.
Yeah.
Because that takes away the bonds that he has from a human onto God. Do you get what I mean? Right? That's so.
But Arabs control the thing now, and Arabs thing
don't-
has always been slavery.
Arabs don't control the thing.
It doesn't matter.
There are groups
so
of people
even
who
now
do it,
you've
right?
mentioned religion.
Yeah,
Since you're going to bring religion into it, it was a way
Listen,
of life.
I listened to you the whole time. Right?
It wasn't
I
just the
listened to you.
prophet or whoever.
Listen,
it was a way
bruv,
of life, a way of being.
I listened to
and
you.
the servitude
to you,
that
right?
we're talking. Hold on.
No, I
the
listened-
servitude
no.
that we're talking about is different from the slavery shackled slaves
Can
and
I-
putting bricks or stones on a man.
I listened to you the
know
whole
what I'm saying?
time, right? I listened to you the whole time. Okay,
Bro,
let me say.
you lot
let
are
me say-
masters of slavery.
No, we're not masters of
Masters.
slavery. When the West came to
Grand
Africa,
masters.
who gave the slaves to the West?
You did.
No, the African warlords,
Man,
the
don't try
African,
it.
the
Don't try
African
it.
leaders
Don't try it.
themselves.
No, you know you're right. There is
We're,
one.
They're-
one
they're-
second,
they're-
one second.
chief,
If we're running from
Thank
you,
you.
one second,
Okay,
one second. If we're running from
listen,
you,
I listened to you the whole
where
time.
is the time? Hold on
I
one
listened
second.
the whole time.
No,
No,
I'm
no,
not gonna
no.
have disingenuous lies.
Disingenuous
Right?
lies.
This is
right?
lies.
No, you have to look.
You're trying to
you have
remix history.
You have to
Story.
look at.
My
you
story
have to look
says
at more sources of history
My story says
to understand how
them
it's going.
as
Right?
Moors.
When it comes to
like
when
how
it
we
comes
know-
to
Them
racism,
as Moors.
Okay, Moors then, okay.
there's
Them
white
as Moors.
against black.
Right,
There's
they're
white
the Moors.
against Mexicans.
That we're talking
There
about.
are
Wearing the
Arabs
pointy hat.
against
Yeah,
South
yeah,
Asians,
running around.
including
There's the
Indians,
African.
Bengalis, Indonesians,
Man's not-
Filipinos. Do you get what I mean?
Mm.
There was racism from the Japanese
Racism.
onto the Chinese, right? The Japanese onto the Philippines. There was America onto the Philippines and onto Korea.
I hear what you're
right?
trying to say,
So
but all
there's
I'm
not
saying
one
is we
form
would
of
just call it
racism.
something else. We wouldn't call it racism. When we
It
say
is
racism,
because the definition of racism, right, is discrimination.
Yeah, it's
Can I
racism.
ask you a
Based
question?
upon
Can I
Let me
ask
tell
race,
you why it's
right?
racism.
Listen.
Let me tell you why it's
someone
racism.
Did those
based upon
Asians,
race.
did they come up with the classifications? Did those Arabs,
Yes.
did they come up with the classifications? Look, which ones? Look,
I'm saying the
They
whole
didn't
system,
come up with the
the whole
classifications,
system
right?
is
Give me the caste
built on
system.
the
But
caste system.
you can
The
understand
whole system
through the way that they
of
are acting.
I can
racist
agree
white
with that.
supremacy
I can agree.
is built on the caste system. Now these Arabs who are mixed, Pakistanis,
Yes,
Afghans, Tajikistans, all of them coming into
Tajikistans.
what we're calling the Middle East or Northeast Africa,
Yeah.
with their mixed culture, their warrior culture, their nomadic
You see,
culture.
you're speaking out of emotions right now because there
I'm speaking
are
facts, bro.
original Arabs, right?
There's no such thing.
There
Stop
is
that.
such a thing.
Stop that. There's no such thing as
Yemenis,
no original
Yemenis are
Arab.
original Arabs.
No, they're
Meccans
still Africans.
from Medina.
Yeah, I
right?
hear you, I
They're
hear
still
you.
African.
They are from
No,
they are from
they have a
Arabian
tribe.
What I'm saying
Peninsula.
is they
So
have a-
Tajikistan.
Yemenis,
You know how far away
no, you're
Tajikistan
being,
is
no,
from the
you're being
Arabian
wrong.
Peninsula.
You're being wrong. You see, with Africans,
no,
we deal with
no,
tribes.
you're
How are we going to
almost
identify a Yemeni? What tribe are you?
We
He's
we
going
have
to say,
tribes
oh,
as
I'm
well.
Oromo. Oh, I'm Fing. I'm Yoruba. I'm Bantu. I'm this. So we know where you're from. I'm Kushetic. I'm from Kush. You understand? We can see. We look at your physical appearance as a real Yemeni. Yeah, you ain't gonna look like him.
My ancestral line.
Come on, man.
line comes from a place in Saudi Arabia, right?
Right.
Okay, my mom's ancestral line comes from a place in Iran,
Right.
right? And Iraq. And originally, when it was first in Iran, then it went to, then before that it was Iraq. Before
Can I
that
ask
it was
one
Mecca.
question?
Before that it was Yemen.
Come on. Exactly. You lot are on the move. You see.
But
These
there
men
are
on the
Yemen
move.
is not part of Africa.
Right, these
Yemen
men
is
are on
not
the
part
move.
of Africa.
Again, Arabs travel. Arabs move around. Arabs are
Not all Arabs. That's the thing,
Bruh,
right? And
bruh,
if you want to
sorry.
use that logic,
The real
everybody used to
African-
move around before.
the real
it was
African
based upon,
Arabs
it was
still
based
live in
upon
Africa,
the
they're
benefits
still
that
there.
they could get from
So
the
we
different
can't hide
lands.
from it.
I'm not
Right?
gonna
You
lie,
understand?
I have to agree with my man because we do have the source information. If you can provide something that's saying
Something
other,
different.
then
Other than
That,
the
that,
Abbasids
Oh,
that the
or
original
whatever.
Arabs were Africans?
Yeah.
yeah, like
That-
other than
okay,
just
but
swearing.
you're making,
Yeah.
but you guys,
that's
you're,
debatable, brothers.
You're making the point
How?
that the original the Iranians were African. The original
No, they weren't.
Israelis were African.
No,
you
no,
just
no,
said
no.
it.
We
I'm
said
saying
Arab.
that region
You said
is
Arabia.
North
You know
East
Salman
Africa.
al-Farisi?
Hold on one
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Do you know
Forget this
Salman
Middle
al-Farisi?
East. Forget Middle East, right?
No, don't
North East
no,
Africa.
Don't move on the
Outside of that,
conversation.
now we're going to Iran. Now we're going to all these places where you lot came from.
No,
So,
no.
if you
We
lot
didn't
travel
come from
in,
there.
oh
right?
my God.
You said
bare
originally.
man.
You said originally.
Even in
the
Islam.
Persians. The Persians
These
were
Said
originally
Bukharis
black.
and these
You
men are
said
not
the Persians were originally
Arabs
black.
like that.
Correct.
These men are not living in Mecca and
Bro,
These men are Iranians.
You
these
said-
men are far out and
You said
Pakistani
that the
and
original
all of these type of
Persians
things.
are black.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now when I told you, now when I told you that the original Iranians were African, you're saying that is wrong.
No, but I'm saying the original Persians were Phoenicians. And Phoenicians or Phoenicia, which means shiny black, lets you know what people there are. I don't understand your retardedness when it comes to this information.
not
I will teach you. But if you want to learn, I'll teach you. You are not originally from anywhere.
Do you really want to?
You
do
never
you really want to
exist.
call me
Yes.
retarded?
Yes, I'm telling
No,
you.
do you really want
they're
to call me
not-
retarded?
No one can
Right?
pinpoint and say, yes, Arabs started here. Because if I'm telling
Do
you
you
that
really want
the
to?
definition of Arab is mixed,
Yeah, he's not.
then when the first people
Listen,
ever
listen,
mixed in
listen,
Africa, that was an Arab. That was the
Listen,
first Arab.
listen.
But we call them Nubians. We call them Ethiopians. We call them Somali. We call them
Listen,
Bantu.
listen,
We-
listen.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
So this is my point.
Okay,
Everybody's
listen,
mixed
if-
in
if-
thing.
If
but
your point is
Nah.
correct. No, if your point
Because
is correct.
Arab goes with Arabic.
No,
And is Arabic
you're-
ancient?
if
Is
you're-
it thousands
your original-
of thousands of years old?
your
No, it
original-
isn't. It's a language of
Your-
trade
okay.
created by Africans.
Okay, wait. Okay, language.
Plain and simple.
Wait. You're saying that Arabs
Traveling again,
you're
moving
saying
around.
That
You
Arabs
understand?
in the very beginning were black,
Trading.
right?
Let's go to Timbuktu.
No, wait.
Let's go to Timbuktu.
You're saying that all Arabs in the beginning they were black, right? Yeah. Okay.
What you're calling
Okay. So and then from in the very beginning you said that Arabs enslaved black people.
Yes.
Then if this is the case, then from the very and you said we created slavery. Then in truth it wasn't us.
You didn't create
We
it.
did.
It's part of
It
the
wasn't
culture.
us. What does that mean? If
part
then
of
you're
your culture.
basically saying.
When you
so we
travel,
brought
you
it
take your
up.
culture with you. Yes?
So we brought it
No,
up,
when
right?
you travel,
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, when you
That's
travel.
what you're saying. Okay.
But hold on, bro. When you
But
travel,
if we
you
were,
bring your
if we
culture
were all
with you.
black in the very beginning,
Oh
right?
my
And
God.
then we enslaved other people.
You're
It
coming
wasn't
from
because-
India. You're coming
it
from
wasn't
Europe.
because
You're
we
mixing
enslaved people.
over there. Next week, I'm gonna bring the Dalil. Trust me. I'm gonna bring the Dalil. Bring the Dalil. Who the real Arabs are?
Sahabi, next week, Ali, you bring your Dalil, and Maku brings his
I'll
team.
bring my Dalil. No problem.
We'll prove it, yeah?
Yes.
You bring your Dalil?
Most definitely.
Okay.
I live
Let's
by
shake
Dalil.
hands.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, samahnakum, yeah?
20 seconds.
Have a nice night, yeah?
Yeah, man.
20
Khaliya
seconds.
Bukra.
What fairy tale killing? Still
Khaliya Bukra.
big up COE. I'm back, baby. Back. Your boy is back.
Getting up round at night time. Don't know Uncle Risky.
Content over everything. From your melody.
Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
We're assuming value in existence. Because there is value in existence. What? For me, that's the ultimate purpose, the existence of life. The existence of mankind, for me, is less important than the existence of life. And yet, if I had a choice between all living beings on Earth and only humans to survive and prosper, I would always choose